15. Machiavellian tricks to make people do anything you want. Power has never been about brute strength. It's about perception, influence, the ability to move people without them realizing they're being moved. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. That human behavior is predictable, and if you understand its patterns, you can guide, shape, and even control it without ever raising your voice. These aren't cheap parlor tricks. They're psychological levers, subtle tactics rooted in how people think, feel, and respond. Used carelessly, they can manipulate and destroy. Used wisely, they can build loyalty, win negotiations, and help you navigate a world where everyone is trying to pull the strings. But here's the truth. Most people are already using these tactics on you, consciously or not. Learning them isn't just about gaining influence. It's about leveling the playing field so you can stop being the one who's controlled. The first key to influence is not demanding attention. It's creating gravity so people want to listen. Most try to persuade by pushing harder, talking more, insisting louder, forcing their ideas into the room. But Machiavelli knew the opposite works better. Control the pace, not the noise. When you speak less, each word carries more weight. When you pause before answering, people lean in. Silence, used intentionally, creates an aura of authority without saying a word. Another subtle tactic: mirror the other person's energy, then lead it. When someone feels seen on an instinctive level, when their body language and tone are reflected back to them, their guard drops. Only then do you gently shift the rhythm toward your own pace. These aren't tricks to force people. They make others feel aligned with you. And that sense of alignment makes them more open to your ideas without resistance. The most effective influence never feels like influence. It feels like choice. People resist being told what to do, but they rarely resist what feels like their own idea. Machiavelli taught that if you want compliance, you must guide, not shove. Offer options, but make one path subtly more appealing. Framed as easier, smarter, or safer, people will almost always choose the option that feels like it was theirs to begin with, even if you laid every brick leading to it. Another tactic: plant the seed of an idea early, then let them arrive at it later. When someone believes they discovered a solution themselves, their commitment to it doubles. You've not only guided their decision, you've secured their loyalty to it. This works because the ego craves autonomy. And by feeding that craving while steering the outcome, you get what you want, without sparking the resistance that comes with obvious control. One of the most subtle forms of power is turning resistance into alliance. Most people try to win over opposition by arguing harder, proving their point, or overpowering through force of will. But Machiavelli understood the surest way to break resistance is to make the other person feel like they're on your side already. Start by finding even the smallest point of agreement, a shared goal, a mutual frustration, a single value. Highlight it. Make it the center of the conversation. When someone feels you're aligned on something important, their defenses begin to soften, even if you still disagree elsewhere. Another tactic is to let your opponent save face. Even when you win, give them the space to feel respected, not humiliated. A person who feels defeated will work against you in silence, but a person who feels heard, even in loss, will often become a reluctant ally, or at least not an enemy. Influence isn't just about control. It's about removing friction so people choose to flow in your direction, even when they started against you. True influence isn't about a single moment. It's about creating a presence that lingers, so people keep considering your perspective even when you're not in the room. Machiavelli knew that credibility is a weapon sharper than charm. Charm fades, but credibility, earned through consistency and controlled mystery, keeps people leaning toward you. One tactic: always deliver slightly less than you promise when speaking, but slightly more than you promise when acting. When your words feel measured, but your results over-deliver, people begin to trust your influence instinctively. They see you as someone who does, not just talks. Another: reveal just enough about your plans or abilities to spark curiosity, but never everything. When people feel there's more to you than meets the eye, they fill in the gaps with their own fascination. And that intrigue can be more persuasive than any argument you could make outright. Influence lasts, not because you shout, but because you craft an image people can't easily forget. Not everyone will like you. In fact, if you're aiming for real influence, some people shouldn't. But even those who dislike you can be made to respect you, or at least think twice before crossing you. Machiavelli understood the balance between fear and favor. You don't need to threaten openly. Instead, you make it clear subtly that your value is greater as an ally than as an enemy. One tactic: control the flow of information. People who seem to know things others don't are naturally respected, even by rivals. It signals that you're connected, resourceful, and not to be underestimated. Another: establish quiet leverage. Not through overt blackmail, but by holding skills, relationships, or insights that others may one day need. You don't flaunt it. You let the awareness of your utility do the work. The goal isn't to intimidate. It's to cultivate a presence that even those who dislike you must acknowledge, because ignoring you would cost them more than keeping you close. Power that lasts isn't loud, it's layered. The most influential people don't burn bright and fade. They build a network of quiet advantages that compound over time. Machiavelli emphasized the art of reciprocity. Give strategically, not recklessly. When you offer help, insight, or opportunity, do it in a way that creates a natural sense of debt. Not because you demanded repayment, but because the other person feels it instinctively. People remember who opened doors for them, and when positioned correctly, those doors lead back to you. Another tactic: stay adaptable. Rigid power structures break when the environment shifts, but flexible ones endure. Be willing to pivot your strategies, update your alliances, and reinvent your image when needed. Power isn't about clinging to one form of influence. It's about remaining relevant no matter how the game changes. When your influence evolves instead of stagnates, people stop seeing you as temporary. They start seeing you as inevitable. In the end, true power doesn't come from force. It doesn't need shouting, threats, or chaos. It moves quietly, weaving through perception, making others want to move in your direction, often without realizing why. Machiavelli understood that influence is a craft. Each tactic, whether it's controlling pace, guiding decisions without force, building alliances from opposition, or cultivating quiet leverage, isn't about manipulation for its own sake. It's about survival in a world where influence is being used on you every day, whether you're aware of it or not. The choice is simple: either learn the game or be a piece on someone else's board. But here's the secret the most powerful people know. You don't have to use these strategies to dominate. Used wisely, they don't just get you what you want. They protect you, help you build lasting trust, and ensure you're never at the mercy of those who would happily use these tactics against you. Because in a world of hidden levers, the one who understands them is the one who can't be controlled.